So if you are interested in starting your own coaching business, or you're simply curious to know how much I paid to start my own financial coaching business in the UK, I have good news. That is exactly what we'll talk about in this video. Hello and welcome to the Savvy Corner. My name is Alisa and this channel is about personal and business finances, financial well-being and money mindset. Those of you who are not new to the channel might know that I am a financial coach and consultant based in the UK. If you didn't know that and you want to learn more about how I became a financial coach and what is it that I do for a living, you can watch this video here where I talk about my story of becoming a coach. Although in that video I share some details about my work, I didn't go into the financials of it. And that's what we'll be doing today. So if you are interested in starting your own coaching business, or you're simply curious to know how much I paid to start my own financial coaching business in the UK, I have good news. That is exactly what we'll talk about in this video. Not only that, but I will share with you the purchases that were absolutely necessary in my opinion, and the ones that are nice to have, but they're not crucial when you're just starting out. So we will dissect the numbers and see where I could have saved money and how much. Ready? Let's go. I have decided to split the expenditure into 5 main categories: education and training, hardware and equipment, software, technology and tools, practicalities/legal, and miscellaneous expenditure. We'll discuss each of them separately, starting with education and training. Coaching is not a regulated industry and therefore you don't need a qualification to become a coach. However, I strongly recommend that you get one. When I discovered coaching in 2017, it was very different from anything I knew up to that point. Coaching is not mentoring, it is not consulting, it's not therapy, it's not training or teaching. I was so blown away by how different and how powerful coaching was that I ended up with not 1 but 2 coaching qualifications. One was specifically on financial coaching and the other one was for coaching in general, and it had a broader application. For those 2 qualifications, I paid a total of £6,200. Another thing I want to add in this category is the mentoring I got on how to build a coaching business. I talked about this before, but I will mention it briefly again. It is not enough to know how to coach in order to build a coaching business. There is a different skill set needed for that. So at the same time as I was doing my 2nd qualification, I got a mentor and I started learning about the business of coaching. I was also working full-time at the time, so I don't remember much from those days because I had no life. I'm half joking, but I was doing so much: working, studying, building a business, coaching clients, and being coached myself. Because yes, that is also something I invested in, coaching for myself, which was extremely helpful. So the mentoring and the coaching together cost me a total of £2,900. On top of that, I paid for several membership and subscription fees, which cost me a total of £500. Something to note here is that I didn't include my ACCA membership here, which is about £250, and that's because I was paying that already. ACCA stands for Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, of which I'm a full member since 2015. Also, the coaching membership for the Association for Coaching was included in the cost of my 2nd coaching qualification, and therefore I didn't have to pay for it. These memberships that I paid £500 for are for different business groups and networking groups for coaches and for business owners. So that's everything I paid in the education and training category, a grand total of £9,600. As for hardware and equipment, when I started my business, I invested in a laptop and a few other bits and bobs like a wireless mouse, a memory card, an external drive, and 2 years of extra insurance for the laptop. And that cost me a total of £1,000. Now, I bought this on Black Friday, so I was able to get, I think, a pretty good reduction, maybe 25% if I remember correctly. In the software, tools and technology category, I first paid for business licenses such as Windows 10 Pro and Office 365 for business, and those cost me a total of £240. In addition to that, I knew I was going to have a website at some point, and therefore I bought a domain hosting for 2 years, a domain ID protect, and a website theme on a lifetime deal for which I paid a total of £250. So in total, £490 on website and technology. I didn't purchase any other tools such as a scheduling tool or a social media tool when I started. I either used the free version and accepted the limitations that came with it, or I've done it manually. This is not the case anymore, but that is probably the subject of a different video. So let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a video on how much it cost me per year to run my business. The next category I want to talk about is what I call practicalities/legal. Before I go into the cost for that, however, let's talk about another practicality. Are you enjoying the video so far? If you are, I would appreciate it if you gave it a big like, as it really helps to support the channel and it gives me an indication of what types of videos you guys like to watch so I can make more of them. Thank you in advance if you do. As for the cost in this category, I included insurance in here. I don't recommend you start coaching, consulting, or offering any other type of service or product without insurance. I paid £60 for public liability and professional indemnity insurance, and this was because I bought it via the Association for Coaching and I got a student rate on it, because I was a student at the time. The miscellaneous category is where I included the cost of travel, accommodation and food, mostly for one of the qualifications for which I had to travel, and the total cost here was £300. So the overall cost of starting my financial coaching business in 2017 was £11,450. I have rounded the numbers mentioned, so please consider a 1% error margin here. I promised at the beginning of the video that we will discuss potential savings. You can see that by far the priciest category for me was education and training, where I spent over 80% of the money, followed by hardware and equipment costs. Could I have done it cheaper though? Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, if I were to make the decision again, now knowing what I know, I wouldn't buy all of these things, or at least not from the very beginning. So let's now look at where you can save money from my perspective. Education and training. Do you need 2 qualifications? I would say no. One is probably enough to get you started, and then you can decide to do another one later on if you want to. So let's say that you can save around £2,000 doing that. Remember that I paid for my qualifications at the end of 2017, beginning of 18, so prices would have increased since then. As for the mentoring and coaching, I think you do need them. I know that in my case it would have taken me a lot longer to figure it out by myself, so I think it's worth the investment. Where I would save my money though would be on the membership subscriptions. Go for 1, maximum 2 that you have thoroughly researched and that you know will bring you value. And I would say that here you could be looking at saving at least £200. So in total, a £2,200 saving in the education category. As for the hardware and equipment, if you already have a PC or a personal laptop, you can certainly use that and not buy anything. So a saving of £1,000 here. I personally would pay for the operating system and the office suite for business, but that comes down to how comfortable you are doing that. For me, it was a case of not wanting to break any rules, given that I knew I was going to use these tools in order to make a profit. But I would hold off on the website related expenditure. For a very long time, I didn't need a website. My social media presence was enough, so we're looking at another £250 that you could save here. I would definitely keep the insurance, as I think it's crucial, but you could potentially save the miscellaneous costs if you chose to do a qualification that is either taught online or closer to where you live. So another £300 saved. If we add up the savings, they come to a total of £3,750, which would make the cost of starting a business £7,700. Remember that these are 2017-18 prices, so please allow for some wiggle room here to adjust for increases in prices. Now that I've shared these figures with you, I'd like to make a disclaimer. I paid for all of this with my own money and I didn't use any loans, credit cards, overdrafts to finance any of it. Some of you might choose to do that, and that's entirely up to you, but I am not encouraging you to build up debt so that you can pay for all of this. Also, I didn't pay for all of it in one go. The coaching qualifications, the mentoring and the personal coaching all had payment plans that I took advantage of, and therefore I paid for these over the course of a few months. I'm curious to know if the total cost I shared comes as a surprise to you or not. Were you expecting less? More? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I've got more similar content coming your way. Until next week, I will leave you with the 2 videos suggested on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!